I know we were talking earlier about kind of the mindset there of, feeling, well, one of the things is feeling hopeless, right? And
Mhm.
feeling like there's no place to go. And I can just remember, because you said something a minute ago that I say all the time, that in order to begin your healing and growing, you have to have self-awareness. And I was on survival mode. And so all my decisions were based on that, which wasn't healthy.
Yeah, of
And coming out of that, it took absolute self-awareness and hyper self-awareness. And I'm still there. I'm still learning and growing and,
course.
learning about my triggers and, how to manage them and how to, so how, so what, so that was a turning point for you, sitting on that bed.
Mm.
And so what have you done since then to work through this? Because it didn't just magically go away overnight, right? You've had to
No.
go through, some processes, and tell us about that.
Yeah, so this is the interesting thing, and it's kind of a juggling act. My depression kind of did go away overnight.
Nice.
When I left my job, my depression went with it.
So that was situational.
Yeah, I think it was I am, and this is self-awareness also. The things that I value the most are certainty
Yeah, me too.
and freedom.
Me too.
The freedom to do what I want when I want, and the
Mm-hmm.
certainty to know where I'm going to be. That's why I love being somebody who works from home. I know my schedule. I just
Yes, exactly.
walk into the office.
Exactly.
So I traded all of my certainty because I was always in a different state, in a different town, in a
Mm,
different building, different schedule, working with different people. I traded all my certainty and I traded all of my time freedom. I'm stuck in a hotel when I'm not working. There's one van that we share between the two people. Sometimes I'm quite literally stuck in this hotel. So I think that I fell into the trap of sacrificing some of my needs as a human for the needs of my bank account. And
yeah.
when I left, I got all the certainty to a degree back. I wasn't certain how I was going to make money, but I did get full time freedom back. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't working a job, and that was the first time I didn't have a job since I was like 16,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was what 28 or 29, however old I was. So that was very very important for me. So yeah, it was very very situational.
Yeah.
Problem, I got a ton of anxiety. I got a
Mm.
ton of anxiety
More
because
anxiety when you. Mm.
drastically, because I leaving my job was already way outside of my comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety zone for sure. Then I am trying to learn about business. My business
Mm.
partner and I were fronting everything on my credit cards and his credit cards. We were doing traveling to different events to try to learn. I am afraid of travel because I have such a negative association with it from my
Mm-hmm.
past. So I don't like
Mm-hmm.
traveling. I hate planes. It doesn't make any sense to me how those things stay in the sky. I don't like them. Not a fan. So yeah, I went from a very what seemed like safe life
Mm-hmm.
to a very uncertain life. And then my anxiety got really bad and I was having panic attacks and lying on
Mm.
the floor thinking I was going to die. It was absolutely brutal.
Ooh.
But the self-awareness thing for me was I would ask myself why.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the questions I would ask in the beginning were why did I feel that way? Why did I think that way? How did the conversation go that way? How did I feel after? A lot of them were just trying to tune in to my feelings. And to your point, I still do it today. Why do I feel so comfortable with you? It's very clear you and I have had very similar life experiences.
Yeah.
I feel like we're very
Mm-hmm.
connected.
Mm-hmm.
That's self-awareness to me and situational. But it really was that. It was, okay, we're getting ready to interview somebody very successful. Why am I so insecure? Well, I wonder, maybe I have imposter syndrome that they're going to find out that I don't know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. That.
Because I've
So,
struggled with that one too.
yeah.
I've
So
had some big names on here, and it is a little bit intimidating.
it is. And the the difference between maybe being intimidated and not doing it are self-awareness of saying, well, what's the
Mm.
worst case scenario?
I know,
Worst case
right?
scenario, it goes horribly wrong and I hit delete and nobody other than us two,
Exactly.
we're the only ones that know about it. So yeah, for me, Lisa, it's mostly about the reps. It's mostly about showing up
Yeah.
and doing it. I mean, yeah, I'm a podcaster and I love podcasting, but one of the best things in the world is I do a podcast episode every day. So I've just had
Mm.
so many opportunities to say,
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know about this. Am I going to be able to do this? Oh yeah, it actually went pretty well. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that tell me about me at the end of the day?
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. You know, and I don't know if I've said it in this podcast, because I say it in every podcast and you hit on it. And it is so true that self-awareness is the absolute key to start your healing and start your growing journey. Because as I was mentioning earlier, you know, I walked through life for so many years in complete survival mode and completely opposite of self-awareness.
Mm.
You know, I was just trying to get through the day. And, you know, when you start slowing that down and you start becoming aware, it's empowering. It's actually empowering, because it's, you know, now when I get to a point where something happens and if I feel like I'm triggered or I feel like I'm losing control, that's really frightening. And I lived my life like that all the time, always in fear, always afraid. And so it's really empowering when you start having the self-awareness and you start recognizing things, and then you learn how to manage those things so that they don't manage you.
Mm. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. It's one of the most challenging things about self-awareness is if you don't have the belief that you can actually, I don't want to say change, but you're in control.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it can be very triggering in the beginning. I agree it's empowering.
Yes.
But I've also been on the other side where I've been working with people where we say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start tracking 3 habits together. So we'll track 1 habit under health, 1 habit under wealth, and 1 habit under love, right? We're going to we're just going to get very intentional about our actions.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've never tracked habits before, that is a tough piece of awareness to say,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I can do 3 things a day. My
Mm-hmm.
goodness,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean about me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, having somebody in your corner to say, it doesn't mean anything about you. Trust me.
Right.
Even if you're trying to track 3 habits, you're in the top percentile of humans. Of course, it's going to be challenging.
Yes.
But I've seen that too. I've seen that being at a level of, okay, this is where I think I am, this is where I actually am. It is definitely empowering, but it can start from a place of a little bit triggering first.